Hi, my name is Becky, and I survived and escaped out of a narcissistic abusive relationship. My abuse wasn't with a romantic partner. As a matter of fact, all my romantic partners were very nice. My abuse was from my own family members. I'm pretty sure they're stalking me right as we speak. So, how did I know it was my family members? I've always felt as if I was adopted or something. I'm an albino, and everybody in the family is colored. What do you mean? So I'm half Korean, half Pacific Islander. My dad was from Guam. So my sisters have brown skin and black hair. Mom has Asian skin and black hair. Daddy had tan skin, black hair. He's the one from the islands. Anyways, I was always isolated, always made to feel as if I wasn't a part. I never felt like I belonged. So some examples would be later on through childhood or through my teen years. I would notice that anytime it was my sister's birthdays, they would get something, and they would get something really nice, kind of expensive. For example, my mom got both my sisters cars. And yes, I know that I'm legally blind. I was born legally blind, but I never got anything of that much value. I never really wanted anything of that much value, but the fact that I was never offered that opportunity, that kind of was a big indicator. There was not equality in the relationship. How I knew I was in a narcissistic abusive relationship was because my voice was to be never heard, meaning I wasn't supposed to open my mouth. Every time I opened my mouth to even talk, I was such a burden to everybody. I was made to feel like whatever I said was just BS. So they would be like, oh, not this shit again, Becky. You're such a crybaby. Gosh, you can't take a joke. And gaslighting me. Oh, so this is my fault now? It had nothing to do with him. It had everything to do with how I felt, but I was never allowed to express how I felt. I was always made to consider their feelings first. So I had to stuff down my feelings. Because anytime I opened up, it would make me feel insecure because of the reaction and explosion that would happen with just me even saying anything. So I learned to quiet myself. I learned to stay by myself. And what it has also taught me was people pleasing. I became a binge and emotional eater. And ever since I was little, my mom always commented on how fat I was. Like, oh, she's so fat, you need to lose weight. And then my very first diet, y'all, was when I was young. I was 5 or 6 years old. And she had, I remember my cousin would come and babysit us. And her instructions to my cousin was to not feed me until it was dinner time or whatever, so I couldn't snack on anything. It was just really restrictive around me. My sisters could eat whatever they wanted, but when it came to me, I couldn't eat anything. I didn't know I was going through this whole narcissistic abuse until I actually started doing some research on it. It came across somewhere, and it came across in my late 30s. So I also have a video pinned as how I lost my eye. They aren't kidding when they say that when you're in a state of stress, you're in dis-ease. And it was 2015 where it manifested itself big time. In 2015, I had quit my job that I had worked for 12 years. with the company, and I had moved up. I was in a marriage that it was just kind of, I'm not going to say it was bad. I just felt like I was more toxic because I was so angry. And I had unhealthy expectations, unhealthy boundaries in a relationship because of what I witnessed, what I saw, and what I feared. And then having to deal with living with my mother again. And that clusterfuck. Anyways, so when I did the research, I found like signs that I'm dealing with a narcissist, and I'm like, yes, oh my gosh, I am not alone here. I am not alone. And then the number one advice was to get away. You have to detach completely, get away from it completely in order to heal, in order to fully see the full graph of the conditioning that I put myself under because of the need, the desire to please these people who didn't give 5 fucks about me. Not 5. They only ever gave 1 fuck about me, and it was just like half a fuck. I deserved better. I wanted more, and I knew I deserved more. I wanted a relationship where it was kind, where it could be saucy, it could be whatever, but it was never toxic. Like, the constant request for money, and when I do give the money to take me somewhere, I'm on your time. I just paid for your gas, so aren't you on my time? Like the unequal. It was just unequal. I always had to give. I was never at the receiving end. The only thing that I received were like attitudes, tantrums, and stuff like that. Stuff that held me down, stuff that brought me down. And anytime I ever wanted to leave and I expressed that, they always used guilt trip. Oh, we're gonna miss you. You shouldn't leave. Your family loves you. You love to drain me. That's what you love to do. Anyways, so how did I get out of it? After listening to all the research and everything in regards to healing and how you feel afterwards and during the process, I was like, yo, even if I have to become homeless, it's better than dealing with this shit. Like, I would just express a desire for something. Like, for instance, I used to be a cigarette smoker, and I knew that I didn't want to smoke cigarettes anymore. And every time I would try to quit, they would purposely light a cigarette right in front of me. And then when I cave in, they're like, oh, so basically just like in disbelief. We know you're going to ask for another cigarette. Yeah, right. You say you're going to quit, but you never do. Nobody supported me. Nobody helped me. Nobody believed me. Nobody explained to me that it was going to be difficult. And when I left, that was a journey in itself. So this is going to be a series of my stories in regard to my own personal healing journey with narcissistic, abusive family members. So stay tuned, and thanks for listening.